Hello, I'm Suzy Nightingale. I'm here for the Perfume Society unboxing their discovery box, the Scented Gent. Now, although we've called it Gent, it's for anyone who traditionally enjoys the more masculine style fragrance and wants to push the boundaries, perhaps. Try something new, get it for a gift for yourself or for a loved one. I know Christmas is a while away yet, but people are stocking up already, and this is such a great gifting idea at any time of year. Now I'm going to talk you through the fragrances and we're going to explore them together. Please try them on blushes if you can at first, and then narrow them down to the ones you want to try first, but try them all on your skin because that is the best way to make sure that they suit you. Especially if it's something new, you need to get used to it on your body chemistry. We are going to start with Bentley for Men. Now, this is such an incredible range of really fine fragrances, beautifully made using some of the world's top perfumers. Please go on our website, perfumesociety.org, to find out more about all of these fragrances and the fragrance houses and their inspirations. The Scented Gent, by the way, is £23 or only £19 if you're a VIP member. So it's really worth becoming a VIP to get those discounts on every box you buy. But Bentley for Men, I think they're some of the finest fragrances you can buy. They are, of course, inspired by their luxury cars. A lot of them are quite woody and leathery. It's evoking the interior, that new car smell, which is just one of the best things in the world, isn't it? And it's so pleasing. Now, you're not going to smell like a car. You might want to, but Bentley for Men is so refined. It's got black pepper and bay leaves, so it's quite aromatic. And there's a darkness to it. It's got this rippled rum note throughout it, and cinnamon, clary sage and leather. The leather works so well with the spices and the herb notes. It's so smooth. It's a really expensive, luxurious leather smell. And they are using the finest raw ingredients, as I say, the top noses in the business to create their fragrances and evoke that luxury feel. In the base, you've got cedarwood and patchouli. It's resinous. It's kind of dark and sticky, slightly naughty, and musk and benzoin. Again, that deepness, that your skin but better smell. And expensive. It smells really good, and I haven't smelled this on a man and thought, yeah, it doesn't suit you. I think it's a real crowd pleaser in the best way, in that it smells so good on so many people. Now, another luxury brand is Brioni. This is an Italian luxury gentleman's outfitters. So they make the most exquisite bespoke suiting. Do have a look at their website. It is just fabulous. And their fragrances are equally incredible. Now, they're very pared back, I would say. They're almost minimalistic in their style, just like their suiting. Nothing shouts, nothing needs to prove itself. It's all in those fine stitches, those invisible seams, and that it works within the fragrance as well. So this is classed as an ambre woody. So it's woody, but it has some more depth to it. Some of their fragrances are very light, almost cologne-like, and really refreshing. This has more depth to it. So it's got Turkish rose in there. It's got patchouli again, that deep resinous note in the base. There's sandalwood and ambroxan, which is such a long-lasting note in a fragrance. You'll see it used in a lot of fragrances now. It's so popular. It smells warm. It smells lightly spiced, but it's got this trail that just goes on for hours and hours. So if you like your long-lasting fragrances, you're really going to enjoy that. Now, another brand I'm sure you've heard of is Bulgari. And again, their fragrances are just exquisitely done. I've never smelled one that I haven't thought is amazing. This one I think is particularly beautiful. It's called Rain Essence. So something that we experience a lot in the UK. And it is an aquatic kind of fragrance, but done in a different way. So it's not a beachy scent, I would say. It's more, you've escaped somewhere, you are by the sea, but you're not on the beach. You're taking a coastal walk and it's raining and you get that petrichor smell, that smell of fresh earth and the verdancy around you. So this has got notes of green tea. It's got white lotus, crystal musk. It's got mineral amber accords in there and gaiac wood as well, which is that really dark, almost charred woodiness in the base. Such an incredible fragrance. I think it's both uplifting and comforting as well, which is quite rare to find in a fragrance. And I think you're really going to enjoy exploring that one. Now, here is a house that have been going for literally hundreds of years, one of the oldest perfumeries in the world, certainly that's still running in Jermyn Street in London. Again, so many beautiful bespoke gentlemen's outfitters in that region, and gentlemen's clubs and florists just produce the most incredible fragrances. I urge you to go to their Jermyn Street store if you can one day. Look at their ledgers in the back. They have a sort of museum section. Winston Churchill, royalty have shopped there. Marilyn Monroe shopped there. You know, who didn't really? It's so worth going to see. But this fragrance is one of their more recent ones, and it's 007. So another British institution inspired by James Bond, of course. Now, of course, it has to be suave. Of course, it has to be charming. Of course, it's got to lure you in. And this one really does. It's got some bergamot and sweet orange juniper in there, which I think is so clever because I think that's referencing his love of gin martini. And it's got geranium, rosemary, rose and carnation in there, using very traditionally British floral ingredients, but in such a different way. And the amber and the sandalwood in the base here, along with oak, moss and musk, give this almost a vintage feel, but it's timeless rather than smelling old-fashioned. It just smells like I don't have to prove myself. My reputation precedes me, and now you may smell as amazing as I do. Such a suave fragrance. Now, another fashion house I'm sure you've heard of is Jimmy Choo. And this is Jimmy Choo Man. This has become such a staple in so many people's wardrobes. It's a fougere aromatic. So fougere basically means fern-like. So it's that sense of walking through a forest. It's the wild nature around you. And exploration. And in here you've got the lavender, which is a traditional fougere note. You've got mandarin and melon as well, which makes it really modern and juicy and thirst quenching. There's geranium and pineapple leaf in there as well, which give it such a unique edge. So it doesn't smell like a fruit salad, but there's definitely a fruity note in there of intrigue. And then there's patchouli and amberwood in the base. And they say that the Jimmy Choo Man has an effortless attitude and a confident, overtly masculine style with a refined sense for detail and a rebellious sense of humour. I think the Jimmy Choo fragrances balance that so well. It's that sense of style, but not taking yourself overly seriously. You can still have a laugh, and their fragrances feel relaxed to wear. So it's not only for best out occasions. You can wear this every day. You could wear this to the office and feel really happy doing so. Now, another fragrance that I have been loving, and Kenzo Om, another incredible fashion brand, their fragrances, I think, really reflect the sort of modernity of their clothes. They have such a signature style, and their fragrances really echo that as well. So this is a woody aromatic. We are inspired for this one by the note of bamboo. So there's the serenity of this sea base. There's a salty breeze. There's a coolness, a refreshing note to this fragrance. It's also got fig tree and fig notes in there. So I think you're somewhere lovely. You're not in Bognor, as lovely as Bognor is. No shame. But fig trees, think sunshine, think a refreshing salty breeze blowing on your face. And you know how sometimes that sticks to your skin and in your hair as well, and you just feel like, oh yeah, I'm on holiday, I'm somewhere lovely. It's that kind of a sense. So it's salty skin that's been warmed by the sun with that sort of aquaceous aquatic note and the fig in there as well. So beautiful. I am sure you will have heard of Mont Blanc fragrances and the house. They are so beloved by, I think, pretty much all of the fragrance journalists that I know, fragrance bloggers, so respected because again, they have such beautiful ingredients. The bottles are incredible. It really echoes the Mont Blanc style. And they're really heavy, which I think is always really satisfying with a magnetic click. Love that so much. The fragrance for this one is Explorer Platinum, so it's part of their whole Explorer universe. There's really something for every taste in there. This one is very herbaceous, it's aromatic, it's kind of back to nature, but in such a refined way. So there's violet leaf in here, which gives this sense of coolness and that sort of woodiness as well. So it doesn't smell like violet sweets or anything. It's violet leaf, so it's far cooler. It's almost a silvery grey. It'd be sort of the colour of my jacket. There's clary sage as well, which again is a kind of silvery, almost smoky herbaceous note. And then cedar wood in the base, which is just so dry, so refined. Just, it's that sharp shoulder, it's that effortlessness of style. Again, not trying too hard, nothing to prove. This is such a fragrance that you could wear any day to the office, on a date, on a special occasion. It's just going to slip into your wardrobe so beautifully. Something a bit different, maybe a brand you've not tried yet, but again, beloved by perfumistas. And it's Parfum de Marly Percival. Now, this is a French niche house. Their fragrances have just garnered so much respect since they launched. They've now got a lovely shop in Covent Garden, which I urge you to go and visit if you can, to try all of the fragrances. But this is a great starting point. Again, it's aromatic. It's got some violet in there with the geranium and lavender, but it's got coriander and cinnamon as well, which gives it this little bit of a sizzle. There's bergamot and mandarin up top, so you get this refreshing, uplifting note, and then it goes into musky, peppery fir balsam as well. It's so long lasting. I think it could become easily your signature scent. It's one of those fragrances you will get asked what you're wearing, and people may not have heard of it, so you have to write it down for them. This happens to me a lot, but yeah, I think you're just going to love wearing this, and the longevity and the uniqueness of their style. Now, a British house this time, it's Shea and Blue, and this is Dandelion Fig. Now, they use juxtaposing notes really amazingly. There's always a surprise about their fragrance. They don't do things in an obvious way, and they're really affordable as well, which I think is so great. And you can buy smaller travel sizes too, so if you want to upgrade to that or a full size, please do. Now, this has got one of my favorite notes of all time in it, and that is tomato vine. I don't know if you've ever been in a greenhouse or you've got like really good organic tomatoes, not the supermarket ones, and you smell the tomato. And it's such a green fragrance. It's such a nostalgic fragrance to me. And it's wandering through your garden. It's the joy of growing things. There's dandelion leaf in here as well. You can eat dandelions. I started foraging those during lockdown, much to the surprise of my neighbours who saw me picking and eating dandelions from the lawn. But if you don't want to do that, you can wear them. And I would say this is a really modern fragrance. It's soft. It's not going to shout at anyone. It's got a little bit of lemongrass in there as well, and some juniper. So again, that sort of almost gin and tonic note. It's such a refreshingly different fragrance to wear. I think on those days when you think, I just don't know what to wear, but I want something different, this would be such a good one to reach for. Oh, here's a brand I was so intrigued to try because they are a luxury luggage brand. And this is To Me, and this is their Continuum fragrance. And they've given their fragrances specific times as well as part of the name. So this is 12 o'clock GMT. And so obviously they are aiming at the traveller, someone who is a traveller of the world, a bit of a nomad, whether that's for work or pleasure, someone who loves exploring, seeing new things, meeting new people, trying new cuisines, immersing yourself in the culture of those countries as well. It's an amber fragrance, so there's some beautiful amber in there. Obviously, it's quite earthy, it's quite a dark amber. It's got some incense in here as well, so it feels like perhaps you've traveled through the souks, you're somewhere exotic, you're somewhere that's completely unfamiliar to you. And there's tobacco leaf in there as well, an orris root, oud suede, and a sort of smoky muskiness. It really is a fragrance that billows around you, and it's going to draw people to you who want to smell more, 100%. If you have not yet tried any Floral Street fragrances, don't let the word floral put you off, because they say these are bouquets that you've never experienced before. That is so modern. It's so not your average floral. It's not old-fashioned in any way. So this is a rose. It's black lotus, but it's got a lot of rose in here, and black cherry, saffron, black violet accord. And there's musk as well, which is a really narcotic musk. There's dark labdanum and a patchouli fraction in here as well, which is a really clear extraction of patchouli. So it's not as earthy as some of them. If you don't like patchouli, this is one you really need to try, because it's such a clarity about it, along with those other dark notes. So if this is a rose, it's a rose in a leather jacket, and it's not a brand new leather jacket. It's scuffed. You've worn it for years. It's molded to your body. It's cool. It's kind of rock star fragrance. And again, this is going to last all day on you. It is so delicious. There's something so addictive about this fragrance. I urge you just to try this on your skin and see the results. They're such a sustainable house as well. That's one of their top priorities. Everything's recycled or recyclable, and they are really, really pushing that sustainability in fine fragrance, and also making it more affordable price points for people to try. So again, they do smaller sizes and discovery sets and all sorts of wonderful things, and home fragrance as well now, which is amazing. Please try these fragrances. £23, £19 if you're a VIP. All of the information is on perfumesociety.org. Please let us know which ones you tried and were surprised by.